to explain to Jesse again how tariffs work, because it is a tax on the American consumer. The American consumer knows that. That's why they don't rate Trump particularly highly on how to handle inflation, cost of living, tariffs, and trade wars. And you also see headlines like Walmart raising prices up to 51%. They're doing that because they're not going to eat the tariff. They're going to pass it on to you.
Así como la corrupción, el crimen y los encubrimientos han sido los temas constantes en estas últimas semanas del gobierno de Trump, también lo ha sido la humillación. Donald Trump ha sido humillado por los miembros de su propio partido que se le rebelan. Ha sido humillado por tener que huir literalmente del escándalo de Epstein. Y ahora es humillado hasta por líderes mundiales que se burlan abiertamente de sus tarifas. Así, señores, el hombre del taco acaba de recibir otra dosis de vergüenza internacional. Y todo esto lo llevó a colapsar a las 3 de la mañana en su red social Truth Social. Donald Trump te quiere vender que su viaje al Reino Unido y sus reuniones con estos líderes de la Unión Europea fueron un éxito rotundo. Y eso, amigos, no es cierto. Todo comienza con lo que dijo Jessica Tarlov. Escuchemos.
So, before this deal with the EU, we have to be clear that every trade war that we are engaging in, Donald Trump brought that one up himself, except for China. China is the one that you really have an issue with, but we essentially had favored nations with the EU being about 1% import. So 15% is a lot more than 1%. And I rarely say that I wish somebody else would take my seat, at least for this segment, but I wish Charlie Gasparino was sitting here right now to explain to Jesse again how tariffs work, because it is a tax on the American consumer. The American consumer knows that. That's why they don't rate Trump particularly highly on how to handle inflation, cost of living, tariffs, and trade wars. And you also see headlines like Walmart raising prices up to 51%. They're doing that because they're not going to eat the tariff. They're going to pass it on to you. Volkswagen, profits down $1.5 billion. GM, profits down $1 billion. Why is that? Because of these trade wars that Donald Trump created. Now, there is this $20 billion in revenue that's coming in, right? I've seen the headlines. I've seen the panicans backing off. But if it weren't going to be a clear line to raising your individual prices, why is Donald Trump, and Josh Hawley now wants to get in on it, talking about rebate checks for the American public? They want another opportunity for Donald Trump to smack his signature, which has been all over the place as we've seen recently,
not
on
with
another
an auto pen.
rebate, not with an auto pen, on rebate checks so that the American public won't hate him for the fact that he is raising their cost of living. And that is what is going on here.
All right.
Las tarifas de Trump siempre han sido una broma. Es un intento patético de querer mostrarse como este tipo fuerte, cuando creo que todos sabemos que es el hombre más inseguro del país. Ni siquiera en la Casa Blanca se están tomando sus tarifas en serio, porque todos saben que es un tipo de farsa. A Donald Trump le encanta enviar cartas, hablar duro, decir que va a castigar a otros países. Pero no tiene ni la menor idea de cómo funciona la economía, al parecer. Luego de todo este tiempo, no lo entiende. Se aplaude a sí mismo cuando sale a imponer una tarifa y se vuelve a aplaudir cuando las quita. No tiene ni la menor idea de cómo funcionan. Y eso ha quedado más claro que nunca luego de este nuevo ridículo con la Unión Europea. Resulta pues que el famoso acuerdo que supuestamente cerró con Europa para evitar una guerra comercial y traer 600.000 millones de dólares en inversiones de Estados Unidos había sido una completa mentira. La Unión Europea acaba de admitir que no pueden garantizar ese dinero, porque en realidad pues vendría del sector privado y ellos no tienen ningún tipo de autoridad sobre esas empresas. El titular lo dice muy claro. La Unión Europea admite que no puede garantizar los 600.000 millones prometidos a Trump. Esta supuesta inversión que Trump celebró como una gran victoria, en realidad solo fue una estimación de lo que podría venir, si es que algunas empresas privadas europeas se animaban a invertir en Estados Unidos. O sea, es puro humo. Dos altos funcionarios de la Comisión Europea aclararon que esa Esa inversión, ese dinero, vendría exclusivamente del sector privado. El organismo no va a aportar ni un centavo, o sea, no va ni a ofrecer incentivos ni fijar un plazo para que eso ocurra. O sea, básicamente es una ilusión inflada por Trump. ¿Qué pasó después de todo esto? Donald Trump explotó en Truth Social. También sobre China, las noticias falsas dicen que quiero una cumbre con el presidente Xi. Eso es falso. No estoy buscando nada. Tal vez vaya a China, pero solo si él me invita. De lo contrario, no estoy interesado y muchas gracias por su atención. Como un niño con un berrinche, Donald Trump está intentando salvar la cara luego de haber sido humillado nuevamente en el escenario internacional. Y claro, ahora sale a decir que todos lo aman, que todos lo quieren invitar, que está haciendo los mejores tratos del mundo. Porque eso es lo único que le importa, que lo quieran. El pequeño Donnie quiere sentirse querido, necesita atención. Pero no es así. Literalmente nadie quiere estar cerca de él. Tiene casi 80 años y actúa peor que un niño de segundo grado. Y eso que ni siquiera quiero ofender a los niños de segundo grado. Amigos, todo esto se está convirtiendo en un problema general para Estados Unidos, porque mientras él hace este tipo de berrinches, está hundiendo la economía, está obligando a los trabajadores a pagar el precio de estos aranceles, estas tarifas absurdas. Ese es el estado actual de la economía trumpista, autoritaria, disfuncional y profundamente corrupta. Y todo esto sucede mientras él se asegura de llenarse los bolsillos con los regalos de líderes extranjeros, que obviamente quieren manipularlo. El famoso jet privado, por ejemplo, financiado por Qatar, del cual pues acabamos de tener noticias muy inquietantes. Escuchemos a Rachel Maddow.
We keep nuclear weapons underground in this country, in big, they call them silos. They are shaped like farm silos that hold grain, but instead of going up, they go down. And all over the northern plain states, we have these underground silos, these massive underground fortresses, which hold huge nuclear-armed intercontinental ballistic missiles in Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota. And a lot of them, especially the first ones that we built, are up in that northern tier of the country because they are a Cold War relic. And the idea was that you'd want them in the inland northern tier of the U.S., A, so you'd have plenty of time to see any incoming threat to those sites flying in from either coast. So you wanted them way inland. But B, you also wanted them way north, so you could fire those intercontinental ballistic missiles north over the Arctic Circle as the fastest path to go hit Moscow, right? To go hit Russia, or I guess the Soviet Union, since it was a Cold War thing. And there were some earlier missile silos with different kinds of weapons, but mostly what we think of when we think of those nuclear missile silos on the northern plains, mostly what we think of are the Minuteman sites for these huge 50-foot-long nuclear-armed intercontinental missiles, the Minuteman missiles. And those Minuteman missile sites in Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, those started to go in the early to mid-1960s. And they are still there and still functioning today, because we as a country still have thousands of live nuclear weapons that we maintain in a constant state of readiness because sure, why not? But if you're going to decide as a country to do that, one thing you can't then do is let those nuclear weapons and those nuclear weapons sites fall into disrepair, right? This isn't like old books or soccer balls that you stashed in a milk crate on a shelf in your garage and forgot about, and, you know, look, the mice got to them. Right? These are real live nuclear weapons that need upkeep and modernization. They need care and tending. So a few months ago, there was a review of the physical condition of these decades-old silos, where to this day we keep hundreds and hundreds of these huge nuclear weapons. And at the end of that review, the Air Force reported, we need to dig all new silos for our nuclear missiles. Turns out these silos we dug starting in the 1960s aren't going to last forever. They're leaking, they're crumbling, they're no place to keep live nuclear weapons and the crews that watch them and maintain them and stand ready to launch them 24 hours a day. So we need new silos. We need new physical sites for these ground-based nukes. And if that sounds expensive, you are right. But also, you've got to, right? I mean, maybe we shouldn't actually have these nuclear weapons. That's an argument that might be worth having. But if we're not having that argument and we are going to keep these nuclear missiles, all these thousands of them, right, then we do have to keep them safely. If we're going to have the nukes, we've got no choice but to maintain them and upgrade them as needed to keep them safe. Right. Right. We can all agree on that. Right. Right. Well, President Donald Trump is now robbing the ground-based nuclear missiles safety and modernization budget for himself. He is robbing that budget. Quote, "No one wants to discuss a mysterious $934 million transfer of funds from the Pentagon project to modernize America's aging ground-based nuclear missiles. But that amount, $934 million, was slipped into an obscure Pentagon document sent to Capitol Hill as a transfer to an unnamed classified project. In recent weeks, congressional budget sleuths have come to think that that amount almost certainly includes the renovation of the new gold-adorned airplane from Qatar that President Trump desperately wants to be in the air before his term is over. Air Force officials privately acknowledge, quote, dipping into nuclear modernization funds for the airplane project." That's from reporters David Sanger and Eric Schmidt at the New York Times. And just to underscore that last point again, just in case that didn't sink in, they actually say it twice in the article. When asked last week, the Air Force said it simply could not discuss the cost or anything else about the airplane because it is classified. But Air Force officials privately concede that they are paying for the renovations of the Qatari Air Force One with the transfer from the Pentagon program to rebuild America's aging, leaky ground-launched nuclear missile system. So our aging, leaky, ground-launched nuclear missile system needs some attention, needs a little TLC because, you know, they're huge armed nuclear missiles under the ground in Montana and Wyoming and all over the place in silos built for them, 60 years ago. So they need a little TLC, our live nuclear weapons, but Trump is taking the money from that program for himself.
Pues bueno, el famoso jet nuevamente en un escándalo. ¿Cuántos escándalos más puede protagonizar Pete Hegseth? Yo creo que ya debería tener un límite, ¿no? Pero bueno, es el gobierno trumpista. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarme hasta el final de este video. Recuerda, como siempre, dale like, comparte el contenido y suscríbete a nuestro canal Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.